Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentleman podcast for Wednesday, June 16th. I am your host, Scott Liberty. Joined alongside me, we have Uncle T-Bag, Tyler Sunt.
Hello.
And we have all day Eric Deshane.
Hello, hello.
It's a hot one, boys.
It's toasty. It's balmy and swassy.
Yep.
Very swassy, swalsy,
And as someone who sits all day too, you feel it, man. Just at 5 o'clock, I just could not wait just to go home and have a shower because, oh god, it was so gross.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
It's nasty.
You don't have air conditioning?
We do, but not where I would sit at work. Though. I have to find spots in the shop and everybody else to go sit under an AC and just cool off for a while.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
There's no airflow, no nothing behind our counter or nothing. It sucks. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, thankfully for where I work, air conditioning is like
mint.
It's like almost cold like in there, so it's awesome. So
that's nice.
Yeah. But we're beating the heat. We're down in Uncle T-Bag's Tavern with another podcast for y'all.
Yeah.
And today's topic is how nerdy is too nerdy, because one Uncle T-Bag has just bought something. And what have you bought?
Well, we're nosediving into this really huge, like, deep web tabletop gaming thing called, I don't know if you heard of it, Warhammer 40K, where basically you build these miniatures, and I could explain what it is, but we'd be here for 40,000 years explaining everything. It's insanity.
Yep.
So basically what it is like you have your little miniatures, you have dice, you've got rulers to measure how far they shoot, and certain weapons that they carry has certain range too, and if they're close range they have repeating fire. Like, it's just crazy. And so we bought some models and we're gonna give it a shot. We know kind of like Carly is really getting into it too, but she loves the painting. She started painting and is doing really, really good. I'm kind of wanted to start off with something pretty simple. So the Space Marines are a pretty common chapter in this thing.
The first one you shared today was phenomenally well done.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, the Blood Angels, where they have like a deep
I'm
red.
also a big 40K fan, and that's been my one holdback to get into it more is the painting aspect of it. Because I can build a model, but the fact these come unpainted and just primed plastic is very much intimidating to me because I suck at painting. I can build, but I just can't paint. So.
Yeah. See, and that's with me too. Like I can't do it. I can't put stuff together. Like, I know when I lived with you, Scott, you had like little models of like the CN Tower or whatever and all that stuff too, and put stuff together, and I'm just like,
it was like a dollar store little diorama thing that I bought on a whim, but yeah. But I did do models as well.
Yeah, for me, for models, it's natural. Like those two up there, my two Gundams, I do that all the time. I love that kind of stuff, right? So for me, model making is fine, but that comes out of the box like that. So no painting, just assembly and just kind of setting it up, and that's it, right? So
See, I'm totally fine with that too. But the painting thing, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna. I've never been I've always wanted to be a creative person. Like when I was in school, I wanted to be able to draw. I wanted to draw so bad, and I thought I took art class and all this stuff too, and I was just terrible at it. I couldn't do proper perspectives. It was really flat looking, and they just looked super terrible. Like a kindergarten kid drawing. Like I just can't do it. I can do basic shapes and whatever, but it's awful. And I've always wanted to be able to do that. So now with this Warhammer stuff, I put the models together, and when I put them together, Carly's the one that paints them while I write across the table from her. This is a new thing that we started doing, and man, you turn the TV off, I just sit there and I'm just writing, and she's painting, and I'm watching her. She's like, well, what do you want for your, because she knows the basic gist of what it is, and she has the app that you can get, Scribe app, where you can see the color schemes of different armies, and I was like, yeah, I'll do some Blood Angels where they're a nice deep red, and she's like, okay. So she did hers, and she painted the crest black, and she's got the guns are nice and silver, and she's got the weathering stuff on it, and the different brushes, and it's just holy man, it looks really good.
Awesome. Yeah.
So when I told Scott about that, he was just
because that's the one thing with Warhammer though, it's very much the lore is so big that it's almost impossible to cover it and try to explain to somebody just how good it could be, because there's no jumping off point, and then once you're in, it's tough really to get someone involved into it.
Well, that was the thing. They're like, you should start reading Warhammer, start getting into Warhammer. And I said, nah, that shit's too nerdy. And then you're like, what? Too nerdy? And I'm like, And then you're like,
that's heresy.
Yeah.
And I was about to go into it, and then you guys save it for a podcast. And I'm like, all right, I'll save it for a podcast.
Yeah. So, well, so why do you think it's there?
There's levels, okay?
Yeah.
There's levels to nerdiness, okay?
Yeah.
For sure.
I can play Vermintide, which is Warhammer, like just
Fantasy
basic-
Warhammer,
It's the
yeah.
fantasy version of Warhammer. Yeah.
And I like cutting rats' head off, and I'll know what each kind of rat is called and blah 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 because they shout it out a million times. Yeah. That's fine. I know some of the characters' names.
But yeah,
Sure.
Whatever.
They're
That's
just-
fine. It's a
yeah.
fun game, and then but then you guys can start going off about Age of Sigmars and all this other garbage, and it's just like, it's like, holy man.
you know, and that's like with me with you guys of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like who care? Like what's the Clone Wars and Rebels and all these other characters
Yeah.
and Ashoka's in this episode. I'm like, who the fuck's that? Who cares? Right? Oh, she got 2 lightsabers. Whoop de doo, right? But it's just like, but it's that same passion, right? So it's like, where is it like too nerdy? So like I can see like Warhammer is I mean, like there's
That's a tough
actual
one.
there's like that's pretty. That's getting into
It's a lot.
It's so
but there's different
dense.
tiers.
Yeah.
There's so many different tiers of levels of how far into Warhammer you can get. You can be like the hobbyist, where you just collect the miniatures and you paint them and just make them look nice and add little textures and have them on display and just be like, hey, look at this art that I made here. This is nice.
Like when you guys are going into like all this like stuff, all the deep lore and all this stuff, it's like I equate it to being like if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But like you guys are talking about like the Silmarillion and all this
Yeah,
other
the
shit.
deep
and it's
lore
just like,
stuff, yeah.
that's too nerdy for me.
Yeah.
Like
That's too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
you guys are in too deep.
I can see that. Because I mean, now I've been a Warhammer fan the last couple of years, probably since 2019. I started following it religiously, and just getting into it that way. And that was like a mindset, like, okay, I want to get into it. I'm going to learn about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's just kind of fiddling with it, seeing how I like it. And I was like, no, I'm going to buy the audiobooks, listen to them, read the wiki, learn about these stories and what's happening with it. It was a work effort to get involved, but it was very much like this is a lot. So
There's so much.
It's going to be a while.
There are so many key characters, so many different roles played by all these. Like it's just so much, man. It's insane. So I felt the same way. I'm like, oh, Warhammer is a fun game, and I'm like, why do I see Warhammer and like how come there's Warhammer in the future? Because I remember years ago I got Warhammer Space Marines for PlayStation 3, I believe it was, and you play a Space Marine voiced by Mark Strong, and I'm like, oh, this is a fun game. You're fighting against orcs, and it's like, oh, it's pretty basic, like simple, right?
God of War pretty
There's
much
a
is,
manufactorum on this planet that is essential to the Imperium, and you have to go down there and stop the orcs from doing it, but you're actually sent there because there's something sinister there called chaos. So like basically 80% of the game you're just slaying orcs, wave after wave of orcs, and it's super gory, it's super over the top, and you're almost like a crusader. Like they're just
That's pretty much
so
how it is,
psychotically devoted to their cause that they'll kill anybody that defies them, so whatever. And then all of a sudden chaos comes on. I'm like, what the fuck is chaos? And then there's a whole nother huge it's like, man, like how far do you go? And I'm like, I want to get into this. So then when you Google it, it's like, where do you even start? You have no idea where to start. Like, when did it start? If you want to go back to the fantasy realm, do you want to go to Age of Sigmar? Do you want to go to, It's
like walking into the ocean. You think you get deeper and deeper as you keep going. Like, that's deep enough. I can't get much deeper than that. No, it keeps going deeper.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the Marianas Trench, and you still, like, there's more.
There's more stuff.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes, there's like...
I can see why it's very nerdy for too nerdy for a lot of people. I can definitely see that because, it's not only is it's deep, it's also expensive as a hobby to get into as well.
Oh yeah, that's
those
the other
models
thing.
are.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, like, is it because like just the story of it, or is it because of the tabletop?
Oh,
thing?
it's both. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's like you have to
Both.
like read this codex thing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Explain what this codex is.
Okay, so this is called a codex, and this is one of the hundreds of chapters that you can play as, called the Adepta Sororitas. So they're part of the Imperium, which is part of the good guys. Well, they think they're the good guys, but really, like when you really think of the grand scheme of things, these guys are fucking monsters, genocidal psychopaths is what they are, and they're spreading the word of the Imperium. And anybody that doesn't, devote themselves to it, is a heretic.
So essentially, if you want to play as this team,
yes,
this is your rule book for it.
This is the manual.
Yeah.
This is the manual. So at the very
For
beginning,
one troop.
No.
There's about 6 different chapters inside of this that you can play as.
Yeah.
So there's like the Bloody Rose.
Yeah.
There's
So one manual for one faction.
Hold on. I found the page. There's a hierarchy of who you can play as. So I might just crop in here and show you.
Yeah.
But there's it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
This is one small chapter. It's actually relatively new, actually, to the lore part of it. But yeah, it's insanity. And there's codex books
for everything.
For everything.
Yeah.
How much
And
did that cost you?
This cost $30 for this book, but the artwork is brilliant.
Oh.
The story and the everything, like there's key characters in here, like, and it's very well drawn. Like you can just sit here and just read this book. It's very, very nice. And you got the different characters in there, the different units, what they can do, and yeah, it's wild, man.
Like I equate it to probably like a D&D manual pretty much, where like you need, like my collection right there, my 3 books, like that's a beginner's manual. Like that can get you going for whatever kind of stories you want. If you want to get into Warhammer, you need like at least like that one for one group, one for another group. So it could be like 5 to 8.
But wait,
You just started on this, right?
right?
How much money are you in now?
I am currently $250 in.
Yeah.
I have the core rule book, the basic rule book, which you have to get just to understand how to play it. And then you need a game mat. Then you need dice. Then you need models. And then you need, like, to choose a faction that you're going to play as. And then you need their codex so that you know what pieces of armor to put on them that gives them what rank and what abilities they can use. And the weapons and what abilities they can do.
Yeah.
And then you have to pick like stratagems on what kind of strategies you're going to use. If you're playing as the Blood Angels, they have their own way of fighting. They have, if you paint them black as like say Raven Guard, they have their own way of doing things. Like it is insane, man.
There's
how much stuff there is.
A lot there.
It's very daunting.
But that's the thing though. Like that's just dipping his toe into Warhammer.
You're just like,
but that's so you got 2 teams.
I got 2 teams. I don't have the codexes for them. This is for one that Carly wants to get into. I don't have the codex for the Space Marines
So
or
now
the
you need to pay
Necrons.
another $60 so you learn how to play your speed up.
Double that
Right,
probably. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got to get
So
data
you're at
cards.
over $300.
Oh yeah, just to get started.
Just to get started. Yeah.
That's
I mean, but what hobby is not
PlayStation
expensive
5
though?
costs $500. by the way.
Yeah.
Or you can go on Steam and buy Warhammer Battle Sector. It's the same thing, but it's just a computer game. You click and
Yeah.
It
does
move
does
all-
6
all the work
squares.
for you.
Yeah, it does it all
for
for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, what hobby isn't expensive, really? But I know
exactly.
it's tough. That's a tough one. That's my biggest
Okay.
tipping point for is the models and the
So-
pricing to it.
To counteract that, we are grown adults.
Yes.
You have
Well, we think we are.
you have a severe collection, like a massive collection of Pokemon cards that you actually put on your wall,
True.
and you've collected all that stuff too. Like, how's that not?
Yeah.
Because I'll be
Really?
able to sell mine, you won't be able to sell yours.
Oh, absolutely. You can.
Go on eBay, man.
Absolutely. If they're well done and well painted, then
The books,
Etsy-
maybe not,
Yeah.
but
I
the
don't
models.
think so. I think if you're painting it, then you're
Oh.
personalizing it, and that doesn't
No,
give it
it
any
doesn't.
value
If it's
at
up to a codex, up to a rule, people will buy
Hmm.
good money for that. Go to Etsy.
Yeah, you're partially right. Yeah, you're partially right.
Partially
for
right,
sure.
but still, it's like
The
no,
cards,
it's-
yes, I could see that. Okay,
No,
okay.
people will buy like it won't be for. I mean, the very rare ones, but it's hard to get rare models, rare 40K models. Pokemon cards are a little different because they're made to collect like that. Warhammer models, not so much. They're not really made to hoard and to like gather and gain their value because the rules change so much that one model is good for 1 year and then
That's another thing too.
it's not as
Oh
good the
my
next
god!
year. Right?
We're
So,
on-
oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna
This
get
is
outdated.
The 9th edition of the codex. It's insane.
Well, it's been
man.
around since 1989.
This is
so,
not
yeah.
just a hobby; it's a cult.
you got like into the most
It's a
expensive
religion.
like phone game ever, and
right.
Before foreign games, yeah, pretty
Right.
much, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's almost kind of like how I felt when I got Boom Beach, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy a few gems here, just to speed things up, blah blah blah. It's like $300 or $400. Like, oh, I wasted my damn money. But this here, it feels like, yeah, this is going towards good stuff, man. This is, yeah,
but who are you gonna play against?
ourselves.
Ourselves, yeah.
And Sunshine Video in town.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're
Starting that up again here soon. They're gonna have little
they
tournaments.
have the magic stuff. Well, that's another one too. For me,
You can go to Edmonton.
I'll bring it up later, but they have the gaming area and Sunshine. You can bring. They have
Yep.
certain gaming nights for that.
They
but
play
yeah,
Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, so what's more nerdy, Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer?
Warhammer.
Warhammer.
Come on, you guys.
Not because of how it is, because D&D is a lot more easy to get into than Warhammer.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
D&D you can buy that one the book there under $150.
Warhammer
and
is just
you're
good
to go for wherever
D&D
you
is
want.
just imagination.
It is, yeah. So it's just
This is true.
as long as you're a good storyteller or a decent storyteller, you can just do whatever campaign you want. Warhammer is so specific when how stuff has to get done in a certain way. It's tough to kind of
Yeah, there's objectives that you play. There's no just.
Yeah,
Oh, let's
that's
just
why
play.
that's why I would say it's more nerdy than D&D, but they're not. Yeah, not
Yeah,
bad.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I was trying to think though too. Like I have one thing I know that's too nerdy for me. Like what's another thing you have that's too nerdy? Star Wars. For me, it's like now it's into Magic the Gathering and collecting cards. I know you like your Pokemon cards, but I couldn't get. I think to me that's too much for me.
The Magic the Gathering, how you have like.
especially Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun game though.
Oh, just
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess I kind of played a little bit. One of the kids I know, like a coworker and friend of mine, his son has Magic the Gathering cards, and you know, I went over there to not really babysit him, just to kind of hang out with him while his parents went out, whatever. So, anyways, he kind of showed me his collection of Magic the Gathering cards, and there's different variants that you can have. Like you can have the undead, you can have the green cards.
Yeah, there's five different colors.
5, yeah. Which seems like a lot easier to manage than 100 different codexes.
Yes and no, because yes, there's 5 different colors, but there's like so many specific things within those colors themselves. That
this is true.
You can make certain kind of decks and certain types of people.
I mean,
It's been around Warhammer's been around for so long that there's this big like lore behind it itself, right? So it's tough to really jump into.
It honestly feels like when you think about it, it feels like a religion and a practice of a religion when you think about it, because like how you get together and when you're playing.
I wouldn't say a religion, more or less. I would say more it's a specific lifestyle to it. Almost.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's
like
more. When you go, you've got your codex, you've got your book, you've got you got all your scripture. This is all. You know the rules. Oh, he's painted this. So what abilities does this guy have? Blah blah blah. And you got to you got your data cards. You got to double check everything. Like it's just like
same idea. Same idea when you're doing a magic deck though too, right? You're looking at what cards you have and you're watching your opponent see what he has, so you build it that way. But there are so many ways to do it otherwise. But yeah, it's tough.
But I mean, you can pay $20 and get a Magic the Gathering starter deck, and you're ready to play. And it has the rules included in that for you.
Wow.
Still.
You don't have to pay $30 extra for it.
Right.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Stuff like that. That's where is it kind of a money grab? That's what I'm on the verge of the model.
Kind of.
Well, that's not a lot. That's like one of the downsides that everybody that is into it. Like there's a few YouTube pages that I've started following, and they just hate how Games Workshop just like.
Oh, they're terrible. And then with the advent
milks everybody.
Advent of 3D printing now too, that's such to say it lightly heresy according to them, because it's easy for the consumer ends, but for them that's like, well, that's RIP. You can't just print your own models.
That's not tournament official.
Yeah. Exactly. Right?
That's just heresy.
It's heresy, but
it's fraudulent.
It's spend $20 print my own, or spending $80 to buy some that are
3D printing is like the equivalent of like printing off the card and gluing it onto the
pretty
other
much,
one.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like it doesn't line up at all.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Your Space Marine guy's got like 2 tiny hands or something.
Yeah, what the hell?
Right.
Always a mutant.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We'll ignore it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like half deformed. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Eric, what about you? What's tuner? You said
Magic the Gathering. Yeah, Magic the Gathering is one of those that's too nerdy for me.
See, I like Magic the Gathering, but like I said, there's levels to it. Like the same thing with Warhammer. There's books of Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
And like about their expansions, and they have their own world and stuff. And to me, that's like, I like playing Magic the Gathering. I used to, anyways. I don't play anymore because the problem that you guys are gonna have, you're gonna find nobody's gonna be able to play with you, so you're gonna have to quit eventually. Same problem with me. I was real into it in high school, and then after graduating high school, nobody to play with. Well, guess what? Gotta sell all my cards. But yeah, like books, that's like way too nerdy. Magic the Gathering books, that's just a fun game.
But really, for me, it's really any specific like card. Besides, Yu-Gi-Oh, but that too, I was into. But any card battling is almost too nerdy for me to get into. Collectible card games like that too. I know you're big into Gwent.
Oh, when
Witcher
Gwent,
3?
dude, I've never been like almost like addicted.
Yeah.
To anything ever, but when I played Witcher 3 and you play Gwent inside this game, I spent more time playing Gwent than I did any of the quests.
I tried
finding Ciri.
When I was playing Witcher, I tried so hard to get into it. I just could not get into it, but then I'm like, any card battle game, pretty much now, and it's like, that's too much for me.
But I mean, it's just like strategy game. I mean, like any other.
Well, that's just it. And I was actually I turned out to be pretty good at it, because they made another game like
an app for it,
an actual app, but like an actual game on PlayStation that was free to download.
Yeah.
And you have like your monster deck, you've got your hero deck, and you've got your gold cards and all this stuff too, and they all have different abilities, and they all support each other with different stuff. And like I was obsessed with that, man. I had a good elf deck, I had a good like Necker monster deck, and
saying that is that's too much for me, man.
And then they released an official Gwent actual story-based game, and then they changed everything, like the complete way it was played, and I'm just like, fuck. I was like, something I was actually really good at, and you fucked me. Yeah.
But you said like with card games, but this is a card game. It's just
dice.
Dice. Yeah.
Dice and measuring.
Yeah, that's the
same shit.
No, it is, but it's a lot more. It's more luck based though.
It is, yeah.
Way more luck.
See, that's the thing. There is a lot of luck.
Yeah, you said everything can be set up perfectly, but the dice could be in
that
favor.
Sounds bad.
It's like Risk. That's one of the things I hate about Risk.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I got you outnumbered like 10-1. I've got you outflanked, blah, 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 but you can roll ones the whole time. And you have like 2 guys and you hold off like a whole... Like, I've lost whole games, you know, going against like one little 2-man...
Yeah, I watch battle reports of orcs versus... and what the hell is he? Not Necrons. What's the Xenomorphs? The Tyranids, yeah. Tyranids, and like, the orcs look outnumbered. Yet the other player just rolled awful, and just bit by bit they held their own and kept going that way, right? So it's more of that. Like you can build your crew and just hope for the best, like put the stats in your favor, but it's still a game. It's still a bit of chance. Like D&D's different that way too.
And it's a way to showcase some of the things that you painted and created too. Like there's one army that this guy had built on YouTube, that the Tau army, and he had like these huge freaking robot things, and the Titans, like, fuck, man, those look so cool, but then you find out how much they actually cost. It's like, oh my god.
Nope.
You guys are nuts. It's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. What about, like, cosplayers? How's that not too nerdy?
I mean, you at least get, like, some, like, affection from that.
Yeah, that's true.
Some adoration.
That's true.
But, like, same thing, like, I probably wouldn't do it, I don't think.
I got one that's too nerdy for me still.
Okay, what?
Fan fiction.
Oh, yeah.
That's to me, that's way overboard, and so much, like, okay, now you're crossing the line, dude, and then you're just, like, making your OCs, like, that much. Like, it's like, no, this is too much. I can't stomach this stuff. Yeah, so... Like, it gets weird, they go off on some of them. And, like, you can get some decent ones. Like, some are legitimately good stories, but then some of them are just like, okay, what the fuck are you doing here, bud? It's just your weird sex dream. Like, fuck off. This is gross. Yeah. To me, that's one thing. Like,
For sure.
Like those, when we went to Edmonton Comic Con, first time I seen it, and what the fuck were they? There was, like, those pillows.
Oh, body pillows.
Body pillows. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's
what are those? Those are body pillows. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's weird.
Who needs a wife when you got a anime body pillow?
A harem of pillows.
Harem of pillows, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And they mark them up, and nerds pay for them, man. They'll charge whatever they want for those darn things. Cause
come out of their basements, grab their body pillow, and sneak back off.
Mom, hungry.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some furniture.
Put the pillow down. Oh, she's coming with me. Oh, God.
Or another, like, super nerdy thing, LARPing. Is that too nerdy for you guys, or would you guys do LARPing?
That was strange.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. Brooks Medieval Fair used to be every year. Well, I only went once. But when you go there, it's almost like a Comic-Con. It's almost like people they don't really frown upon you not dressing up in medieval garb. Yeah. But there's quite a few people, like myself and my girlfriend at the time and her son. We were going around, and it was pretty awesome though. Like there were horses all decked out. There was actual jousting going on, blah blah blah. But there was a field where you could sign up. You had like styrofoam bow and arrow,
that's
styrofoam swords and shields. The guy was dressed up as like an orc. He had like all the prosthetics in his face, and you had to fight the orc horde and whatever. Like hitting the arm counts as one hit, and deflecting the arrow. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm out of here.
Yeah, this is weird. Too much. Yeah,
lightning bolt.
You got your magic people, and they're like in the robes and stuff. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, if that's what brings you happiness,
all the power to you.
And this is a safe place for you to practice it, I guess. It sounds terrible, but I mean, like, like whatever, go for it, man.
If that's your shtick, then hell yeah.
Right. It's like when I would sit there with my family, if I had my like PSP, and everybody's with the family talking and playing cards and whatever, being boring, and I'm sitting there, I got my video games, they're just like, oh, nerd. It's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
You don't understand.
Yeah, you don't get me,
You don't get me, man.
Why'd you do that with your arm?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a muscle spasm. I don't know what's happening.
Reverting back,
Yeah, I got whiplash. Abusive childhood. No, I'm just kidding.
Why can't you just be normal?
What's wrong? I am normal.
Yeah, the LARPing for sure is one of those, like, okay.
That's very strange.
But, like, there's the edge of that, where it's like you have the styrofoam swords and everything else, but it's like the guys who, like, just in full armor with real swords and, like, do the combat stuff. Like, I'm more fine with that, but then you go into the more maple-y stuff, it's like, okay, this is just too much, but yeah.
You have a character name and a backstory
and
everything.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm from the forest of Avalorn, and my bow's the whispering arrows that can pierce through. No, shut up, nerd.
Oh, God, that's just
Just run
cringe.
over, just give me a huge wedgie.
Give me your fucking styrofoam toy.
It's like, all right, guys, I'm joining in the LARPing thing.
Just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. It's like, where's your weapons? I don't need them. Just start like wedging people, just the face and shit.
Just fucking cold cocking everybody.
I brought this locker with me so I can shove you guys in.
Just big bully. Oh, that'd be terrible. Make for a good movie though.
Yeah.
You gave me good movie ideas. But there was one, Role Models, that was kind of like that.
Role Models,
That was kind of like that, yeah.
There was
The
that,
Sean William Scott. And,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a bit of LARPing in there, but it would be kind of funny.
Oh yeah, and they were super nerdy in that too, which was kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old nerd stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's got to be more nerd stuff. I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
our listeners
I
probably
mean-
indulge in stuff that, some people might think is nerdy, but is totally awesome.
Yeah, curious to hear what you guys think. If
What's too
what
nerdy
you
for
think
you?
is too nerdy for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, what's
and-
too nerdy?
I'm sure a lot of the stuff we talk about for somebody uses it that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh,
definitely,
guaranteed
yeah.
it is. Yeah. But I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, that's what we like. So
I know,
this
like-
is our safe space. So
But like I said, there's always like levels to this. Like I'm like the same thing. Like I like Pokemon and stuff like that, but I wouldn't be like, sorry guys, I can't hang out with you this weekend because I'm watching the Pokemon World Championships or whatever.
Right.
yeah,
And it's like no, I'm
Or
not
I'm going to a tournament to play.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Right.
Like, I
Yeah.
like playing Pokemon Yellow every now and then, and
Right.
that's about it.
Right. Unless there was a tournament for money. Maybe.
Yeah.
But then that'd be scary. Then you're
Oh,
going up
then
against the
you're-
super nerds.
Have you
Then
guys
that's,
ever
that's
Exactly. You're
daunting.
going up against the sweats and shit. Yeah.
have you
Yeah,
ever gone
and you
to
get
like a
annihilated.
nerd tournament or anything at all before? No?
I haven't. No, I would like to honestly go. I think if Sunshine Video puts it on again in town here and they start doing that kind of stuff, I think I might go check it out.
I've
honestly.
been to one. I've been to a Smash Bros tournament at Nate one year.
Ooh.
That was a fucking train wreck.
Oh, yeah,
I showed up there and thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna have fun and have a good time. I was out first round right away.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, let's just sit and watch. They had like at the whole lounge area with a nice screen set up and everything else, and I had a good time just visiting with some people there. And those guys, they were just like
Vicious.
Oh, nerds, and just like they knew all like the meta of Smash that I just couldn't understand at the time. I just played for fun
Yeah.
with friends and everything else. So I didn't know what to expect. Oh my god, it was just like, yeah, I don't, because I played with this was Smash Brawl, and I played with DK, not DK, Diddy Kong. And no one else played with Diddy Kong because I guess he was low tier in the meta. So it's like, oh, he's playing with Diddy Kong, playing against him and see how he is. I get my ass whooped because I don't know the whole meta behind it, right? And they just like fucking like get outta
They're
here.
thinking you have some special tech or
Yeah,
something like that. Like,
yeah, I was like, he's just some
whoa,
dumbass
what?
playing. So yeah, I was out right away, and it's like these.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, oh, this is just. I think I left like halfway through. I'm like, this is just fucking a joke. Like,
Pathetic.
oh, absolutely. That's how I felt. I'm like, this is just stupid. I'm
Right.
out of here. Yeah.
That's something similar. Just like fighting games in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not great at them, and then like you just like watch like Evo or like the fighting champs. These guys who have like their own custom fight sticks, and it's like almost like that's like the not like too nerdy, but it's like the opposite where it's just like I wish I could almost be like that almost kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Like it's
yeah.
like.
yeah,
At least like half like competent
Right.
kind of at those kind of games.
Right.
That's just more dedication and practice than anything else. It's just
Yeah,
like
that's
making
the-
a custom. Like there's no different than having a custom set up for gaming PC for Counter Strike or for
Right.
Rainbow Six, right? So same
That's
idea
true.
there. Yeah, this is a different
Oh.
set of skills for that particular thing, but that's no different than just learning a new thing for whatever else, right? Just
Yeah.
diving in deep and figuring it all out. But
Jeez, that
Yeah.
reminds me of when I played StarCraft 2 online.
that's another one. Yeah,
Man, like, well, depending on what faction you have, they have like 3 different types of rushes and different like, late game like attacks and plays that you can do and whatever. And then hotkeys blew my mind. Usually you just sit there with strategy games, you just click on my guy, go build this, click on that, go build this. Whereas, no, you highlight them or you tap A to select all your workers and you just hold down shift, click, 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 and build like 18 things at once and just go, man. Because every millisecond makes a difference in that game. It was insane. I actually got pretty good at it, but
saying that though,
Nowhere near.
reminds me of something else that I find too much for me is MOBA games, League of Legends, Dota.
yeah.
All those ones, it's like that's just too much. I can't stand that kind of stuff. That's just way too nerdy into like
Right.
other things. Like I just don't have the time to get into this.
And like
wow.
they just shit on you while
Oh yeah,
yeah
there's no like
Right.
it's the skill peak's too high. There's no like
in
build
the
your
middle.
way up. No, it's just like either you're really bad or you're really good. There's no in between to kind of improve yourself and get better. You have to learn to get fast and
Yeah.
be good, or just stay shitty and just get shit on all the time.
And see, that's why I wanted to like Mordhau so much.
Yeah.
Like that is the kind of
Another
game that
one.
I know that we would have had so much more fun if we had people that were more our skill level.
Yeah.
You know, but
there's
they're
no-
either
no.
really easy NPCs or it's impossible.
We should get Chivalry too.
Yeah.
We should check that out. It's still pretty early.
I don't think it's come out yet, has it?
Oh, look it up and see.
I think it's
Or
only
maybe
been beta.
maybe
so
it's the
far.
beta that I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's the
Would
same
that be
thing with
fun?
that. It was just there was no beginner skill level. It was all just like, no, go full tier with these guys been playing for 800 hours and just try. It's like, well, I die right away, so I'm not having fun doing this. So,
No, exactly.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You just
too much.
You just pull a Carly and rage quit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Carly. Oh, that was a dark day. That was a dark day. Poor girl.
Happened a couple times, didn't it?
It did, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think twice. And whenever I mention the name, is she just like,
Nope.
she's like,
It's like a twitch.
don't use that word around me. Mord, ha, decapitated. Yeah, good stuff.
Well, there you go. Eric, you haven't bought any Warhammer stuff yet, though, have
Not
you?
yet, no. I do want to, but again, that's the other thing. Was like, okay, well, what do I buy? What am I looking to build? And this is another thing to get into with that. I know the lore pretty well and what I want to make, but just a matter of having that financial ability at the moment. That's
And then
that's
making
the
Take a
only-
loan
time,
now.
and making time is
to
another
put it
one.
together and actually
Yeah.
paint it.
That
It's
could
like,
be-
oh, I have it now, but it's like,
Yeah.
now I gotta cut the pieces out. I gotta put them together. And then you gotta paint them. And then you gotta figure out what they do and how they move. And you gotta have terrain. Yeah, there's.
It'd probably be a winter project, not so much a summer. The summertime, I don't have a lot of time, free time on my hands.
Right.
Lots of stuff going on the weekends and stuff like that. Maybe more of a winter project. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Carly has immediately taken an obsessive liking to it. Like as soon as she gets home from work, she's like, straight to it right
Beautiful.
away. Gets the lamp, gets the paint, gets all of her palette and everything. She's got palette and everything. She's just ready to go, man, all the time,
Super.
which is really cool. And I'm like, yeah, you go ahead. You do that. When you're done coloring, then I'll put my army together and then I'll beat you with it. Look what you've created. Your own demise.
Yeah, what happens to that? What if it's a Mordhau situation with
She rage
you and
quits.
Carly?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
she-
she rage quits, and then you got nobody to play with now.
Oh,
Well, you can just give yourself a little bit of a handicap and give her the advantage and see how it does.
this is true.
Yeah.
But then she'll know that I'm trying to be nice to her. And that's even worse. That's even worse. How would you feel if you're like, hey, here, I'll put one arm behind my back when we play? It's like you guys playing Smash Bros against me and I can't fucking do it. I get so fucking mad. Or that, what's that one where you toss people out of?
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beasts, yeah.
Oh my god! I mean, there's a couple of games where I'm like, I do okay, but otherwise I just get tossed like a rag doll, and it's just like I just want to take the controller and smash it over someone's head. It's, like, it's not even fair. Yeah, so I can kind of relate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
It's okay to be nerdy sometimes.
It is.
Yep.
Embrace your inner nerd.
Just don't be too nerdy, though. Nobody likes a big nerd.
Scott.
That's true.
Scott doesn't like a big nerd. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Don't LARP, man. Like that's weird. Because we will make fun of you.
That is open for
But you know what? You can make fun of us for Warhammer. Go right ahead, man.
It's all right.
Because I know that we're getting into something.
We'll
that's
check back in another few months and see how many thousands of dollars you're in the hole.
thousands. Oh
Oh,
my god.
geez.
Yeah. So I sold my truck so I could buy a Grey Knight army. Bought the Citadel paint straight from Games Workshop.
Yeah. God, here goes your bank account.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe. That would really help us out. And then if you're listening on a podcast service, give us 5 stars or a thumbs up and subscribe to our feed. And then head over to our Facebook page, like our page, and ask us a question for Ask Us Anything. And then, of course, also, we want to know what is too nerdy for you.
Yes. Are we too nerdy for you?
Probably. And yeah, we're going to be back here Friday. And speaking of nerdy, we're going to have another nerdy conversation on Friday where we're going to be future casting the X-Men movie. The next
right.
X-Men movie.
That's right.
Who we would want to be, who see in the characters and that sort of thing.
Yes. Very exciting stuff.
Right on. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on Friday.
See you guys.
See you.